So we saw some problems regarding D'Alembert principle where we were having a block and some force was going to pull or push it. Now here in pulley and block type problems, we will be given a pulley, alright, and over the pulley a string will be there, and to the both ends of the string some blocks will be attached. Now see, there will be some specialities regarding this pulley and block problem. Every time you will be given that the string is inextensible, means there will not be any elongation or shortening of the string. Then the pulley provided will be weightless. Okay, there will not be any weight contributed by this specific pulley. Okay, this is weightless or no weight pulley. Now what we will need to find out while solving this D'Alembert problem, specifically ask for pulley and block problem. See, tension in the string. Whenever something is attached to a string and the string is fixed, tension is generated. We show the tension by the symbol or alphabet T. Okay, we will need to find the value of tension, whatever newtons of tension is generated. Okay, we determine tension or compression in Newton. We already have studied that thing when we were analyzing truss. C or T, they are expressed in newtons. Okay, then since we are talking about D'Alembert principle, we will be calculating the acceleration that is provided, that is generated in the block. Whatever the acceleration the blocks will be providing for accelerating, or let's say for initiating the motion, we will need to calculate that. Okay, since two blocks are there and this is a very simple representation of a pulley and block problem, here you can clearly see whatever the block having more weight will be going downward and the block which is lighter in weight will be going upward. Okay, we will shed more light onto that, but still remember, just remember that pulley is weightless, string is inextensible. Then these problems generally ask these two things: tension in the strings and accelerations that are developed in the blocks. Okay, now before moving on to the actual problem, let's first see what is the exact proper methodology of solving such problem. Okay, there are 3 to 4 very short and simple steps, and once you get to know all the steps, you will be very comfortably solve the problems regarding pulley and block problem with D'Alembert principle. Alright, now let's move to the methodology or the procedure for solving such problems. See, we took the typical example of a pulley and block system where two blocks are there, block A and block B. This is weightless pulley and this is inextensible string. Now what step number 1 is saying? It is saying that assume all the blocks are moving in the same direction. Okay, although you will be very easily tell that which block is moving in which direction based on whatever higher weight is assigned to the block. Okay, the higher weight will be going downward, the lesser weight will be going upward, obviously. But even though it is very evident that we can say which block is going down, which one will be going up, you don't have to directly quote that specific direction over there. Since the step is saying that assumption is to be made that all the blocks are moving in the same direction. Okay, therefore what we have to do, we have to mention that both the blocks are going upward or let's say downward. Okay, generally we mention that both the blocks go upward. Therefore if this is block B and this is block A, then whatever the displacement that block A will be making will be upward. Thereby if you differentiate displacement, you will be getting velocity. Velocity of block A will be upward and acceleration of the block A will be upward. Similarly, we have assumed the same direction of motion for block B, thereby displacement, velocity and acceleration as well of block B will be in upward direction. Okay, displacement, velocity, acceleration, and we are very well aware with D'Alembert principle that it involves this specific thing, acceleration. Okay, thereby we will be focusing on this very specific thing, acceleration of this both block. Therefore the step 1 is complete. We have assumed a common direction of movement of both the blocks here. Okay, for this specific methodological discussion, we have taken 2 block problem only. In some, let's say in some difficult problem, you will be provided with 3 to 4 blocks. Thereby, no need to assign a specific direction. We have to assume a common direction, that is upward direction, to all the given block. Let it be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the number is. Then let's go to step number 2. Now step number 2 looks tad a bit lengthy, but remember this, it is very easy. Now what step number 2 is saying, establish kinematic relation. Now let's first understand what kinematic relation is. For example, let's say this is block A and this is block B, then we should be able to establish some sort of kinematic relation. That is, if displacement of block A is S, then with respect to displacement of block A, what is displacement of block B? Okay, it may be exactly equal, or it may be like this, SA is equal to twice SB. Okay, whatever displacement block A will be making, it will be twice that of SB. Okay, it may be twice SA is equal to thrice SB. Therefore, this is called as kinematic relation. Take any kinematic variable, let's say velocity or let's say acceleration, whatever relation the block A's parameter is making, it will be having some relation, some sort of equation with the motion of block B. Okay, this is called as kinematic relation. Now, how do we establish a kinematic relation? For that, we will have to first understand the virtual work principle. Now, what exactly virtual work is? Virtual work, we are very well aware with the term work. Work is what? Force into displacement. Now, when we have connected this prefix, that is adjective virtual work, we are talking about work done by internal forces. Internal forces may be a tension or compression, but in this specific set of problems, we will be dealing with this keyword tension. When blocks are attached, when weights are attached to a string, then tension will be developed in the string. That's why internal force in case of this virtual work will be tension. Now, virtual work is equal to internal force, which is tension, into displacement, and virtual work is always 0. Remember this, virtual work will always be 0. Therefore, we can shorten it as virtual work is equal to tension, that is internal force, and displacement. And this specific displacement, we are talking about displacement of this block A and displacement of this block B. Now, note that work done to be taken positive when force and displacement is in the same direction. Now, what is the force here? See, this is tension, okay, and this is tension. See, when we are saying that work done is to be taken positive, how do we take work done by block A and B? See here, what the step is saying, find virtual work done by each block. Means if number of blocks are 2, we will have to calculate this step twice. Okay, if number of blocks are 3, we will be doing this virtual work done by A, then B, then B, then we will be summing it up and we will be equating the total virtual work done by individual block A, B, C, whatever the number of blocks be there. Thereby, we will be putting this value T into SA, that is tension in string connected to block A into its displacement SA, and T into SB. Now, how did we take signs of this work done to be positive? See here, see, this is block A and let's say this is block B. Now, if you consider this specific thing, then tension is shown like this and tension here is shown like this. See, and what we had assumed, that acceleration, velocity and displacement of block A is upward. Similarly, it is upward for block B. Now, what is the internal force or force here? T. It is going in upward direction. Direction of motion is upward. Also, displacement is in upward direction. Therefore, both this parameter for virtual work done, force into displacement, both are in same direction. That's why we have taken the virtual work done by block A as positive. Similarly, in case of block B, when we drew a BD, we can clearly see that tension is going upward and also motion of block B is upward. Thereby it maintains the scene that force and displacement both are in same direction. That's why virtual work done by block B is taken positive. Now we are very well aware with the thing that total virtual work done is 0. Therefore we can take this term over here. It will be giving out this specific expression. Now here we can cut tension because it is same throughout the string. See, whatever the number of blocks that are attached to the string, the same string runs through number of pulleys and it is common. That's why value of tension for the string is same throughout, is 1. It will never be A, TA, TB. It will not be like this. Tension, the value of tension throughout the string will be same. It will be 1 value. Now we can clearly see we can cut this T over here like this. Okay, thereby we are left out with displacement of block A is equal to negative magnitude of displacement given by block B. Thereby if we differentiate, or we can directly say that velocity of block A is equal to velocity of block B, but direction is different, that is minus sign is provided. Now the main thing here, acceleration of block A is equal to negative acceleration of block B. This is the exact required kinematic relation that we were talking about. Now since we know that D'Alembert principle is like this, summation F is equal to W by G into A. This specific acceleration is a required quantity, required entity. That's why we were focusing on the specific expression that is acceleration of block A with respect to acceleration of other block, that is block B. Now since we have established this kinematic relation, we will be going to step number 3. Now what we will be doing is step number 3. First we have to draw FBD of each block. Let's say this is FBD of block A. Now the downward quantity, the downward force you can see here is weight of block A, and this is the tension in the string, and this upward direction is showing direction of motion, or simply SA, or let's say VA, or let's say acceleration of that block. Now with each FBD, okay, VA will be having tension as parameter, weight of the block, and acceleration, which are the required quantities in the D'Alembert's equation. This is the D'Alembert equation that we usually quote, usually mention. Okay, summation F is equal to W by G into acceleration. Okay, this is the general case. That's why we are not using any prefix, that is A or let's say B, or acceleration of A or B. Now if you solve this, then summation F, that is summation of forces in the direction of motion. Now here we can clearly see that tension is in direction of motion. Okay, tension is exactly following the direction of motion. That's why tension is taken as positive. Now W, that is weight of the block, will be taken negative because it is against the direction of motion. This specific force, weight force, is against the direction of motion. That's why it is taken as negative. And the right hand side of D'Alembert principle, which is weight divided by acceleration due to gravity multiplied by the acceleration. Now we have to make sure that the expression comes out in a form where acceleration is in left hand side and the remaining parameter goes to the right hand side. Okay, see here specifically we have calculated, we have mentioned this equation with respect to block A and block B. For example, if it is block A, okay, this is weight of block A, this is tension, and this is direction of motion, which is acceleration A. See here, tension is in direction of motion, that's why taken positive. Weight of block A is against the direction of motion, that's why taken negative, and thereby the right hand side as it is. Now what we have done is rearrange this equation in terms of acceleration made by block A. Thereby we are having equation, let's say 1, as acceleration of A is equal to G divided by WA into T minus W. We have done nothing different. We are just making sure that whatever equation we will be having is in the form of A suffix A, that is acceleration. Then similarly for block B, tension here it is, then this is the direction of motion, or let's say direction of acceleration, velocity, or displacement. This is A suffix B, this is block B, and this is weight of block B. Now T, it is taken positive because t is in the direction of motion, wb is taken negative because it is against the direction of motion, then the generic RHS of D'Alembert principle. We will make sure that equation or expression is written where AB stands in LHS, and this will be equation number 2. Now see this, acceleration of A is equal to negative acceleration of B, and in step number 3 we made sure that expressions are in exact acceleration terms. Okay, therefore by using equation, let's say this is equation A. Okay, now what we'll be doing, we will be putting these two expression in A suffix A is equal to minus A suffix B. Therefore when we will be putting these two equation, we will be making sure that the signs and the exact values are taken like this. Therefore here we can calculate the value of t. Okay, see, A suffix A is equal to minus A suffix B. Therefore the equation that we had obtained in terms of A suffix A is written as it is, then introduce the minus sign, then write down whatever expression you had for A suffix B. See, this value will be known, that is acceleration due to gravity 9.81. WA will be known. Okay, then again 9.81 will be known, WB will be known. Therefore the only unknown parameter here will be value of tension. Once you input this statement in your calculator and calculate it, you will be able to find the value of T in Newton. Okay, then after calculating the value of T, you can put the value of T in equation 1 and 2 so as to calculate expression, that is value of A suffix A and A suffix B. Okay, the values will be in unit meter per second square, meter per second square. Now the main thing, what we knew that we had assumed the motions of both blocks to be upward. Now when we will input value of T in the specific expression for A suffix A and A suffix B, we will be getting some value as positive or negative. Now remember this, when you calculate acceleration term using the value of T, and if your answer comes out to be positive in the first try, then it means that whatever direction of motion you had assumed is correct. Okay, in case the value of acceleration comes out to be negative and this was the assumed direction, see, at both the points we have mentioned that this is the upward direction, but acceleration came out positive in the first calculation itself. Whatever we had assumed is correct. Now when we calculated value of acceleration of block B, it came out to be negative, and it was negative for upward assumption. Okay, just like truss, we are doing the same thing here. We assume tension, the value came out to be negative, then we converted it as positive and we said that it is compression. Same way we calculated the value, required value for acceleration B, it came out to be negative with this specific assumption. Therefore in order to make the value positive, we will be rewriting it as with positive magnitude, meter per second square, and then whatever wrong assumption that we had made should be corrected to the exact correct one. Okay, negative value, assumed direction, that's why it was wrong. Now we made the value correct, and now we have converted, that is changed the direction. Thereby you can clearly see when two blocks were there, okay, one of the block will be going up, other will be going down, but what our assumption was there, both were going up. That's why when we calculated T and we inputted T in accelerations equation, the magnitudes were shown as correct and wrong with respect to the calculation. Okay, to make the assumption correct, we have to rewrite the magnitude, that is -2 plus, or if it is plus then no need to change it. Okay, so it all felt like a tutorial for the game, but when you will be solving the exact numerical with some numerical values, okay, with some figures, then you will be very clearly understanding what exactly these 4 number of steps applied to a specific set of problem. Okay, we will be seeing a numerical, and these steps, this methodology will be very much clear to you. So let's meet in another lecture. We will be solving a specific numerical with these steps and methodology. Till then, take care. Bye bye.